Hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
Hey, I'm pretty pumped. I should say we're pretty pumped to talk to this guy. 5-time New York Times best-selling author, Eric Metaxas. Eric, how are you?
I hate the New York Times, and I am swell. I'm swell. How are you? I can't read it anymore. We got rid of our subscription, but that's okay because I do have a copy of Das Kapital by Karl Marx. Same
thing.
Yeah.
All right.
And Rick, you forgot to mention that he's a close personal friend of Mike Lindell, who's standing behind him back there. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, Mike Lindell, he hovers behind me, making sure that I say, use the code Eric. The code Eric. So thank you. Yeah.
Eric Metaxas also has his own show on the Salem Network. You can hear it at 2 p.m. Monday through Friday on 590 and 10 p.m. on 970. And his new book is called Fish Out of Water, Search for the Meaning of Life. It's a memoir. And what'd you say? You look back about 22 years. I saw the interview with you and Pastor Alan Jackson, which was awesome.
Oh, yeah, he's great. That's Murfreesboro World Outreach Church. No, it's the story of the first 25 years of my life. And the reason that I stopped at age 25 is because that's when I had my major conversion experience, and it's a miracle, and it happened, and it was so wild that because I didn't think it was possible for that to happen. I just thought intelligent, educated people can never know if the Bible is true or if Jesus is real, or and I was skeptical for a long, long time. So God had to punch a hole through the sheetrock and say, hey, I'm out here. And that's the end of the book. The book before that is kind of my insane stories. A lot of it is very funny because it's true. I tell the true stories of growing up. My dad is Greek from Greece. My mom's German from Germany. And to grow up in an European immigrant household, working class European immigrants, salt of the earth, but really hard to communicate when neither parent understands the language of the other. So they speak, English, and I'm there as an interpreter full time. So it was kind of some funny stuff. Yeah.
That would be interesting if you had two parents who spoke two totally different languages and then they had to combine and yeah, that would be hard.
Well, it's hard on me. It's what messed me up. I just want you to know. I blame them totally.
At least you're owning that, so it's good.
Yeah.
Eric Metaxas on the show. We love having him. I think Pastor Alan Jackson said that the book is filled with humor wrapped in truth. A lot of funny stories, good stuff. Let me ask you this. What do you like best, writing, television, or radio?
Honestly, I don't know. I really feel I'm one of those freakish creatures who I've had to make peace with the fact that I enjoy doing a number of different things. Most writers are writers. They just spend their time writing, and they're not that good in front of the camera, maybe, or in front of or talking to audiences. I really enjoy both, and writing is hard work. So there's a lot of times I don't enjoy it, but it's just a gift that God has given me to communicate. And I never thought I'd write my story the way that I did. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just wanted to tell the faith component, So some people think of it as a faith biography. It's not really. It's a crazy literary biography, which again, I think most of it is funny. It's meant to be entertaining and crazy. It's all true. But the end of it is just so insane. I said, look, this happened. People need to understand how I got to be where I am today. And if you need to know, here it is. So I really enjoyed reading it, but I love speaking in front of crowds. I do it a lot. I'll be in Dallas this weekend, and I I preach in churches and I speak, everywhere else. And so I kind of enjoy everything. Hopefully I could also hate everything, but usually I enjoy everything.
And see, this is the good thing is you have a personality. So many authors don't have much of a personality, and you do.
I could be faking it. I don't know. I don't know if it's my personality or if I'm pretending, but that's a bigger story. We don't need to get into that.
So was it different for you writing about yourself? Because when you write about Bonhoeffer, there's so much you can research and dig into. When you're writing about yourself, you're going, I guess, off of memories and stuff. How was it hard?
There's no previous biographies of Eric Metaxas that I could consult. So
exactly.
This was all original research. I had to go to the archives in Spain and in Italy. And no, honestly, it is so crazy to tell your story because it's 100% memories. And I remember, I have a good memory, and there's a lot of stuff in there that people say, how did you remember this? And it's like, I don't know. You remember what you remember and you forget what you forget. But I guess it was an extraordinary experience because, first of all, there's an element of hubris, arrogance in telling your story. Who do you think you are that people want to read your story? And so it really made me work harder to say, is this really entertaining? Are people going to read this page and want to read the next page and the next page and the next page? So I think I worked harder at making it funny and making sure that everything in there was there for a reason. But I think when you get to the end of the book, there's no way the end of the book would make sense unless you read everything that comes before it. It kind of pulls together more and more and more. But it really was wild. My dad he'll be 94 in June, and my mom, oddly enough, she's barely 40. She doesn't give out her age. But the fact of the matter is that having my parents and being able to call them up in the course of writing this and ask them, what about this and what about this? It was really a blessing for me to get that time with them and to relive these things. And the funny thing is that, I'm in my 50s now. So to have my father tell me stories that he's probably told me 10 times, 20 times, but I never paid attention to the details and I never had to put it together. And it's embarrassing and humbling. I don't know why that is, but it is really true. And so I finally definitively pulled all this stuff together. And I just had this kind of burden to get it on the page, and so I've done that, and I didn't leave too much out, but I still think that what is in there is it's most of it is funny and nuts, and it's true. Every syllable is true. I hate when people exaggerate and say, well, it makes a story better. That's called cheating. I don't do that. So it's all real, it's all true.
Awesome.
Eric Metaxas with us. He hates the New York Times. He's got a great book out. It's called Fish Out of Water. Do your mom and dad say, hey, that's my boy right there? I know they're proud of you, no doubt.
I think it's hard to say. My parents are, basically, yes. But at the same time, they've seen the worst of me and continue to see the worst of me, just as we do with those we love. But I think so. My father, he's kind of funny because I would ask him these questions and he would be like, well, you're not going to tell that story in the book. Are you you're going to write that? What are people going to think? He's got his reputation. He's all worried about at age 93 and a half. They're going to might cancel him or something. And I said, Dad, I didn't plan it this way, but you are somehow the hero of this book. Anybody reading this book, if they think who's the star of the show, my dad comes out, his love for me and my mother's love for me. You can't make that up. And they weren't evangelical Christians, or they weren't, they were just incredibly wonderful parents. They had a lot of flaws, but I'll tell you, the love they had for me, if you want to understand where you come from, that they blessed me big time. And so it was really kind of, it was just a joy for me to put that, between the covers of this book and just to tell their story. A lot of it is their story, frankly.
Yeah. Eric Metaxas. You can find the book, ericmetaxas.com, and also salembooks.com. And of course, you have the Eric Metaxas Show that you can hear right here in Atlanta on Faith Talk Atlanta. And you've had some great guests on. As I was looking through, you've had folks like the favorite that stuck out to us was Morgan Freeman. We're like, if we could just have Morgan Freeman on and have him just talk. We want to ask questions, just let him talk.
I had President Trump on, who he's not as famous as Morgan Freeman, but
no, of course not, right?
But no, I had Morgan Freeman. They were actually. I'm now doing a co-production with Morgan Freeman's production company. It's a story of. It's a documentary that we're making about the discovery of the tomb of Odysseus in Greece. Long story, but it's involved with my family's home growing up. It's a crazy story. But the Morgan Freeman thing, they were doing some National Geographic thing, and they came to New York to kind of promote it. And they said, no, they can't come to the radio studio. They can't do radio, but we could do TV. So I was like, okay, we'll just get the audio. We'll go do TV and we'll get the audio and put it on the radio program. And I went there and I thought to myself, he's doing this thing on National Geographic talking about God. And I don't get the impression that he has a biblical view of things. And so I was able to kind of ask him hard questions and, you know, kind of tease him. That's my love language. I tease people. And so I said to him, okay, so let me get this straight. So you think reincarnation maybe happened. So let me see. So let's say, you know, you come back as a frog. What would you need to do, morally speaking, to work your way up the ladder from froghood? What could a frog do? And I don't think anybody ever challenged him with questions like that before, you know? And I asked him other couple of funny questions. I mean, it's on my website, but it's sort of, or on my YouTube page, I guess. But the radio program, we put everything on the Eric Metaxas show on YouTube so people can watch it. But that's like a couple of years back. But that's one of my favorites, just because I was able to tease Morgan Freeman and is like,
that's
okay,
awesome.
pal, you believe in reincarnation? Tell me, but what about this one? You know, what about that? It was fun. It was fun.
Love it. Eric Metaxas, brand new book out. It's called Fish Out of Water, A Search for the Meaning of Life. It's a memoir, and you can listen to him here at Faith Talk Atlanta. Eric, we got to go to a break here in just a few. Whom haven't you had on your show that you would love to have on?
Are you kidding? You pick a name out of a hat. Paul McCartney, Elton John. You know, it's really there's so many people that I would love to have on. I can't even begin to tell you. Carol Burnett. I mean, we start.
A
lot
Burnett
of people.
would be a blast. Yes.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Love Carol Burnett. She's
good stuff. Hey, pick up the book. Go to ericmetaxas.com. Watch the YouTube. Just some of the stuff that he's done there. And yes, he does preach. I think I saw a picture of you preaching at there was a church in New Jersey, something Grove, Oak Grove.
Oh man, that's from a few years ago. Yeah, no, I've spoken
bringing it down,
all kinds of places.
Yeah. We appreciate your time. Hey, listen to the show. Check out the book. Actually, books, because he's got some great books out. ericmetaxas.com. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst,
and I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.